Chapter 16 of Staying Fat for Sarah Burns. It's well after 10 at night, and Ellerby and I are replenishing the juices we lost in practice with a half rack of Gatorade. Lemery may be gone, but her memory lives on through precise and voluminous workout notes, and Mr. Billings was up to the task of carrying them out to the letter. Guess we ought to lay off Britain, huh? I say. Yeah, until my dad said it. I didn't think about what it's like to be Mark. You know, all the pressure to be godlike and stuff. Speaking of which, I say, twisting the cap off another Gatorade, that was pretty heavy shit today between your dad and Maud's. Ellerby smiles and takes the bottle, nearly draining it. My old man's a heavy dude. He doesn't believe butt time on planet Earth necessarily makes you wise. Guys like Maud's always hate my dad. No shit. Maud's really brought old man Burns down on you after we left? Really did. If I hadn't crapped my drawers with glee a few seconds earlier, watching your dad dismantle him, I'd have sure crapped them with astonishment when old Freddy Krueger stepped into the room. Ellerby shakes his head. Guess we better not be going over to Lemery's anymore. Now without covering our tracks. All Burns would have to do is follow us around for a while. Yeah, it's a long shot, but it sure would be nice if Lemery and Sarah Burns found her mom. Then, everything would come into the open. Ellerby switches on the ignition. I wonder why he didn't just snatch her someplace close to school. That's what I'd have done. Maybe he thought he could make it look like legitimate. Hell, Maud's is still convinced it was just a little family trouble. We talk a while longer, polishing off 2 more Gatorades before I tell Ellerby to take me back to his place to get my mom's car because I'm so tired I can't keep my eyes open and my arms are rags from all the butterfly Lemery left for us to do. All through workout, I pictured her and Sarah Burns driving down the highway, laughing their asses off at the workout she left for us. I even entertained the idea that Lemery let Sarah Burns make it up. I'm on cruise control, gliding across town on Washington Street, timing the lights perfectly. I've driven this so many times I could do it in my sleep, which is a pretty good description of what I'm doing now. My head is actually bobbing, and I pop the radio on and punch a button tuned to K101 Oldies, cranking it to near full blast. The biggest hits from the 50s and 60s. I have no trouble finding the button. They're all tuned to 101. Turn that down. A shout blasts out of me at the voice coming low out of the back seat. You should use your rearview mirror. I whirl around, face to face with Virgil Burns, then whip my eyes back to the road. Suddenly, I am in adrenaline overdrive. Get out of my car! That's against the law! I could get you arrested! The door wasn't locked, he says. I didn't know it was your car. What do you want? You know what I want. I told you I'm not telling. The sharp, cold point of a knife indents my cheek like a pencil on a fresh tablet, and Virgil Burns' voice goes stone cold. I told you not to mess with me, boy. Okay, I say back. I believe you. Then you better come clean. You played a few too many cards today in your principal's office. Again, I wish I hadn't said I knew what he did to Sarah Burns. I didn't answer. Pull into the park. Take the first left, and we'll find a place to talk. I brake and we glide easily into the entrance of Manito Park. Past the lights, he says, and I drive slowly past the duck pond toward the upper, undeveloped area. My terror is truly unimaginable, but somehow I hold myself together, and slowly the mercury vapor lights fade in my rearview mirror, and then it's just me and Mr. Burns and the dark. All heroic thoughts of what I might do if I ever got alone with him have vanished like warm breath on a cold night. All I want to do is live. You better not do anything to me, I warn meekly. People will know. Sarah Burns will know. So will other people. So will who? Nobody. The knife sinks deeper into my cheek, and warm blood trickles toward my chin. The son of a bitch is cutting me. Ellerby, I say, my friend Ellerby, he'll know. You've got a regular band of married men, he says. Where's my daughter? I can't tell you that. The burn in my cheek spreads, and the blood flows freely. Jesus, he's cutting my face. I don't have time for this, he says. Before this night's over, I'm going to have my daughter be gone. Now, you'll either be hurt real bad, maybe dead, or not. But I'll have her, one way or the other. Nobody got a right to take a man's family. No one. I don't care about your friend Ellerby or your principal or your mama or nobody. I care about getting my baby and disappearing. Now tell me where she is, boy, or you'll be tasting this knife on your tongue. Oh, Jesus, he's going to shove it through my cheek. I stomp the gas pedal to the floor, and the blade slices back toward my neck as Burns falls hard against the back seat. I'm screaming, Go ahead! Kill me! You're coming too, goddammit! You're coming too! We're pushing 50 when we reach the exit to the park, and I'm sure we take the corner out onto the deserted street on 2 wheels. If no one stops me, I'll hit a tree. The speedometer pushes 70. Stop this car, you little shit, he says, or I'll drive this knife into the back of your neck. Go ahead, I scream again. Go ahead! You're a dead man with me, asshole! It's as if I can keep my nerve through my screams. Go ahead! Kill me! I see him coming over the seat on the passenger side, and I know he'll get control of the car, so I slam on the brakes, throwing him against the windshield, then bash the door open with my shoulder and sprint back into darkness to hide, and go for the cops when he's gone. He stuck me with a knife. That's good for jail time. I dive off the road into the underbrush on the edge of a large stand of lodgepoles, watching Burns flip a U-turn back in my direction. If he goes past, I'll run out the way he came and work my way through the neighborhoods downtown to the police station. I touch the stinging flap of skin on my cheek with a strange sense of satisfaction. When the cops see that, there'll be no doubt. Burns stops less than 20 feet from me, headlights illuminating the trees. I hold my breath and hug the ground like a flat rock, shuddering as the melting snow soaks through my flimsy jacket. Mr. Burns slips out of the car, peering into the shadows around me. The headlights aim high and to the right of me, and I have no way of knowing whether I'm visible. He moves carefully in my direction, and I truly believe my heartbeat will drive a dent into the cold ground beneath me. He's 10 feet away now, and though he gives no indication of spotting me, I can't contain the panic. I push myself up, venting a guttural animal yowl, and hightail it for the trees and the park exit beyond. A dusky strobe from his headlights passes through the trees while the car turns toward the road through the park. Then it's black again, and I slow to dodge the black silhouettes of the trees which seem to spring from nowhere. Near the park exit, I crouch, peering back into the darkness, then east, where I catch broken glimpses of headlights as the car circles the perimeter, moving toward the exit. I sprint, hoping I can beat him and disappear into the neighborhood, but he rounds the last turn as I break onto the street, and though I cross safely, I'm dead sure he saw me. The headlights cast my eerie, blurred shadow in front of me as I push my exhausted frame down the middle of the street before cutting to the sidewalk. I glance desperately around for an alley, any place I can cut into the neighborhood to get off the street. See nothing and run straight down the sidewalk with one eye on the driver's side door, knowing if he jumps out, I'll leave him in the dust. If he doesn't drive up on the sidewalk to pick me off, I'll be safe until I get downtown. As I think it, it's real. The car cuts sharply toward me, jumping the curb, and I dive over a 3-foot chain link fence, roll twice, pick myself up, and race to the next yard, screaming with the renewed energy only an adrenaline blast can create. I cut behind the house to find an alley and double back, hoping to give myself time while he figures out what to do next. But old man Burns didn't become the chilling menace he is, being duped by the likes of me. Twice I reached the entrance of an alley, once on each end, only to see my mother's car idling quietly within 25 feet. Each time I dart back to hide among the garbage cans and clotheslines, wondering if he's some sort of spook, if maybe he can read my mind. I know that can't be true, but when I steal across several lawns to an adjacent alley 2 blocks away and creep into the intersection only to find the car waiting, I'm rattled. I consider pounding on someone's door, but a lot could go wrong. There wouldn't be much time if no one answered, and I still hope I can get downtown before he catches me. To actually get his hands on me, he'll have to get out of the car, and that evens things up. Moving down off the South Hill now, into middle and poorer sections of town, I realize my chances of rousting someone out are gone. Loud yelling and nighttime violence are more common here, and people lock their doors when they hear it. But if I can get through the Edison district, I'll be only a few blocks from the police station. I haven't spotted him for 3 blocks now, so I may have lost him in the maze of backyard swing sets and garages and old cars that dot the alleyways. I won't go back out onto the street until the downtown lights are in sight. Then I'll run for it. Behind me, a cat bounces off a loose garbage can lid, and a muffled shriek escapes my throat. I crouch to catch my breath. I don't know the area well, but I have some sense of it, having visited Dale Thornton. Dale Thornton! That's it! Burns is keeping up with me because he knows I'm going for the cops. That's got to be it. But Dale Thornton lives near the middle of the Edison district, the opposite direction from the station. If I can get to his house, I'll be safe. Dale's not in love with me, but he's got to hate old man Burns. Dale's the only person beside me and Lemry who knows what he did. I start moving in that direction when steel fingers grip my shoulder. Messed up big boy. What'd you think I was going to stay in the car while you raced up and down the alleys? Not too hard to figure out why you kids don't score higher on your SATs. His grip is so tight my arm numbs. I pull away, but he tightens it until I'm on my knees. Told you I was done messing with you, he says in a raspy whisper, and suddenly the cold edge of the blade rests on my throat. Now, you've had a taste of your own blood, and I'd be more than happy to give you a wide smile. I close my eyes. Don't think for a second I won't do it, boy. Now just tell me where my daughter is, and let this be over. How do I know you won't hurt me after I tell? He laughs. You'll only know I will hurt you if you don't. The pressure of the blade creases my throat. The next words out of your mouth better be the whereabouts of my girl. Reno. I think I feel the blade cut. The truth, he rasps. Reno, I say again. His free hand goes to my hair as he pulls my head back so hard I feel whiplash. How'd she get there? Lemry. In this state, I would do anything. Turn on my friend, murder innocent babies, anything. Later, I will feel shame. But now I feel only terror in its purest form. Who's that? Teacher. His grip relaxes, and I roll away hard, actually hearing hair tear off the front of my scalp, and I am up and screaming down the block, fast and loud. Seconds before, searing pain bursts into my left shoulder blade. My shrieks increase as I storm toward the lights. Behind me, a car starts, and I leap a back fence, cutting across another lawn for a lighted street, screaming. I'm back in an alley, and the pain in my shoulder blade is dulling a bit, but the terror is not. I rumble across 2 more streets, 2 more alleys toward the heart of the Edison district until something looks familiar in the dim light. I think it's Dale Street. I cut across another yard, unsure whether to turn right or left, and now the pain in my shoulder returns with such intensity I think I'll vomit. I reach for the source with my right hand, but I can't get to it. It has to be his knife, but I can't reach it. My left arm is completely numb. I have to stay conscious. It's late, after midnight. Anything I see moving will be him. Liquid warmth trickles down my back, and I'm suddenly glad I couldn't get to the knife. I'm like a punctured tire. Don't take the nail out until you get to a service station. I have to take a chance on the direction. Without landmarks, I'm geographically dyslexic. I have to take a chance on the direction. Without landmarks, I'm geographically dyslexic. It is absolute fact that in unfamiliar surroundings, I have a better than 50% chance of going the wrong way by following my instincts. I've seen Dale's house, but only from the front street, and from here I recognize little. My instincts say go right. I turn left and begin to jog, praying my disability will be true to me. Jesus, fat boy, what you doing here? What the hell time is it? Shit, you're lucky you didn't wake my old man. He'd think nothing of kicking your ass all the way back to your house. What the hell you doing here? Man, I wouldn't be running around this neighborhood at night. Someone will kick your ass and take your stuff. Hey, what happened to your face? Jesus. Here, follow me out to the garage. Man, you're lucky you didn't wake up my old man. You know what time it is? What'd you do to your face? Dale leads me down the dirt driveway to the garage, unlocks the monster master padlock, and steps in, feeling for the light switch. I haven't spoken, and I'm fighting to stay with him. The overhead fluorescents flicker, and I turn my back to him. Jesus Christ, what's that? What the hell is that? Shit, you got a knife sticking out of you. Oh, Jesus Christ. How the hell did you get a knife stuck in you? Burns, I say, and suddenly I'm struggling for air, dropping to my knees. Oh, shit, Dale says. Want me to take it out? Want me to pull that sucker out of there? For the first time, I know I might really be in trouble, that I could die. I shake my head weakly. 911. I pitch forward onto my good arm and ease myself to the cold concrete floor. Dale is screaming for his dad. I don't know whether I passed out or fell asleep, but reflections of red and blue lights chased each other around the garage walls when my eyes open again, and I'm being hustled into the back of a blue and white van. I'm on my back. The knife must be out. Prickly pain dances in my left hand, and I watch with strange detachment as the medic inserts a needle attached to a tube into my forearm. Everything is fuzzy, gauzy. A policeman's lips are moving just above me, but I can't hear a word. Hey man, these guys have this all under control. I'm out of here. Okay, Chapter 16, Analysis. Alright, this chapter honestly doesn't have a ton of stuff in it other than action. And this action is crazy. How so? Well, Virgil Burns decides to hide in the back of Eric Calhoun's car after Steve Ellerby drops him off, and he holds a knife to Eric's cheek, and as he's doing that, cuts him. Eric freaks out in the park, accelerates, which makes the blade of the knife slide back, and so he's got a cut on his cheek and jaw. He hides, he runs through the neighborhood, he eventually gets stabbed. Now, he doesn't get stabbed, it sounds like Virgil Burns took the knife, threw it, and it stuck Eric, but in his left shoulder, okay? And so that knife stuck in there, it stayed in there. He finds his way magically, luckily, to Dale Thornton's house, and passes out basically from the pain and the trauma. Um, there's not a lot of craziness in this chapter other than the action. It's violent, very much so. We see what Virgil Burns is capable of, but we already knew he was capable of crazy things because he burned his daughter's face. So, I don't think we're surprised by it. It's just surprising to read that this book would choose to talk about this kind of violence. It's surprising. It is unfortunately realistic too. People that are capable of violence are capable of violence in many different ways, and we're seeing that. The big thing here to me is Dale Thornton. He kind of comes in clutch here. He kind of does what he needs to, and boy, Eric needed to count on him, and he was there to be counted on. He's there for Eric. Obviously, he called 911. Obviously, he got him help. And so Dale Thornton, the bully from middle school, boy, he sure kind of came up big here. It's crazy. It will get crazier. Stay tuned.